Chapter 4, Microbial Growth and its Control. When it comes to growing microbes in the lab, whether it's bacteria, fungi, yeast, whatever, there are certain things we need to account for. The need for all living cells for nutrients, some supply of required compounds for growth, for metabolism, for glycolysis, catabolic methods of glycolysis, anabolic methods of building up, making new proteins, new nucleic acids. So in the lab, you need to supply these things, either in the form of macronutrients or micronutrients. Big things, big sugars, amino acid, polypeptides, things like that, lipids, or individual molecules, trace metals, certain growth factors that may be needed, but in minute quantities. Because when you stop to think about it, all living cells on this planet, are made up of primarily of a handful of elements: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, phosphate, sulfur. It's about 96% of the dry weight of a bacterial cell. It's roughly that dry weight of eukaryotic cell. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, chloride, iron. There you go. That right there is the majority of the cell's dry weight. But there are other things that need to be there. Okay, a total of 62 different elements can be found within living cells, not just this, dozen right here. You're going to find that of these right here, the carbon, the nitrogen, the calcium, potassium, 96% of that's going to be caught up as proteins, lipids, polysaccharides, lipopolysaccharides, nucleic acids. So when you go through and you start looking at everything present there, the majority of the periodic table can be found in cells. Some are going to be essential, some trace, some there, but not essential. But if they're there, they may be metabolized. Some just somehow wind up there. Things like the noble gases and what. Yes, you can find those in living cells because they are taking up in gas form during normal respiration for certain animals, during uptake of carbon dioxide or oxygen by microbial cells. These got in. They're not used, but they could be found there. Remember, us heterotrophs, we require our organic carbon. Okay, organic carbon means that it is a carbon that is in a molecule. Carbon is the central atom of that molecule. That molecule may be built around one or a chain of carbons. It's where, the amino acids, fatty acids, these are chains of carbons. Autotrophs, remember the autotrophs are going to make their own carbon sources by, linking together, fixing carbon dioxide together. The nitrogen that's going to be found in cells, if it's microbes, they're going to use ammonia or NH3, ammonia. They're going to take it up. They can use nitrates. Few of them can do what is referred to as nitrogen fixation. Take in gaseous nitrogen and basically fix it to hydrogens to make ammonia, to make nitrate. Other organisms that need, all of us who need oxygen, hydrogen, well, we're going to get that from water. This is the oxygen you're going to find as a part of the carboxyl functional group or a carbonyl functional group, not the oxygen you're going to need for, the final electron acceptor. The phosphorus, sulfur, they are going to be required for different components. Phosphorus, you can find most of that as part of the inorganic phosphate, ATP, things like that. Sulfur is going to be with amino acids, certain vitamins. And there are some microbes who are truly anaerobic. Thus, they do not want oxygen anywhere near them, so they don't use oxygen as the final electron acceptor. They're going to use sulfates or sulfides as their final electron acceptor. And then the potassium and magnesium, I'll let you read on those. The micronutrients, these are going to be trace metals, okay? Yeah, as you sit there listening to this, your cells have metals in them. Iron, zinc, silver, even some gold somewhere in there. You are worth something. I don't care what your big brother, your big sister said. You are worth something. Joking. So you go through and you start looking at all these trace elements. They're going to be present in a handful of molecules. Molybdenum, part of the flavin-containing enzymes. Remember, the flavin-containing enzymes are going to be part of the electron transport chain in oxidative phosphorylation. Certain nitrogenases, nitrate reductases, sulfite oxidases may have molybdenum. Nickel is going to be there, selenium, zinc, so on. We also have to take into account there are certain growth factors. These are going to be, organic molecules that are going to aid enzymes in either getting their active site to the correct shape so they can have a function, or the overall tertiary quaternary structure correct shape so they have an active site and can have a function. Many of these growth factors you've seen before, but B12, B1, B6, vitamin K. They're the vitamins that you've been told since you were a little kid you have to have in your diet. Certain things, folic acid, biotin, we mammals don't make this, so we need to eat plants which have this ability. Most microbes have their own ability to make these. So, like I said, the growth factors function as coenzymes. They aid the enzymes in getting the correct shape, have the correct function. Sometimes these growth factors will act as the precursors for the making of amino acids, purines, pyrimidines. A little cut, little paste, biotin becomes this, folic acid becomes that.